Hi everyone, this is Brandon with BMI, Black Market Innovation and Design. Quick video on how to replace the front control arms on an Atomik V2MR with Kyosho RB5 or RB6 front control arms. Let's get started. Alright, what we have here is an Atomik V2MR. I actually sell these kits brand new for 85 bucks in this version, which is what I call the works. Comes with carbon fiber shock towers, some aluminum bits here, and can be set up mid or rear motor. Overall, an awesome buggy for the money. In my opinion, you can't really beat the price point on it. This one's obviously got my electronics in it, which I sourced from Hobby King, because you can get some pretty good electronics for a budget price. So here is what you would get in a kit after you assemble it. And this one is set up in rear motor. Carbon fiber shock towers, so this is the works kit. $85 for this kit, which can also be set up in mid motor. Then we have the basic kit, which comes with the plastic shock towers, plastic front arm mounts. What it does include though is that rear chassis plate, and reason being is I bought the remaining stock from Atomik on these, and almost every single kit was missing this piece. Reason being is the material it was made of was too fragile for this kit, and they tend to break. So I had some CNC machined out of aluminum, and those are the replacement piece. I also sell those separately, and I will include a link to my eBid page where those can be purchased separately, along with carbon fiber shock towers. But this basic kit I sell for $65, and that can also be set up mid or rear motor. So the point of this video is actually when you run into breaking a front control arm. Since most, if not all, hobby stores or tracks are not going to have parts readily available for these things, I've come up with ways to use parts from other vehicles. One of the more common parts to break is the front control arms, and unless you buy more than one kit from me, you're going to have a hard time finding control arms that work on this buggy. I pretty much have all remaining stock parts and kits. So, with that said, you can fit a Kyosho RB5 or RB6 front control arm on here. This buggy here, which is my personal buggy, actually has one standard arm from the kit on here, and the other being a Kyosho RB6 arm. This is the Kyosho. This is the one standard in the kit, and it's a pretty straightforward retrofit, which is why I'm making this video, and I will show you how to do that. And of course, you don't have to remove every single piece as you would while you're doing the assembly. I'm sure most of you can figure this part out.
One day the sky went black, it came without a warning. The time returned your package right outside your door. We all just closed our eyes while the world was burning, and all the hypocrites are always wanting more. There's no more questions, but no more answers.
I might just take some little needle nose. Boom. And your arm is removed. Now we'll get to the assembly. So here's what you'll need to do this. An RB6 or RB5 front control arm. Two 3mm button head screws, and these ones, the shortest I could find at my local store was 6mm. Now if you go to the hobby store you could probably find them shorter, but I just went down to a local Ace Hardware, got these 3mm by 6mm, but the 6mm was too long, so I just kind of took them and grinded them down real quick. Just took like a millimeter off of them, otherwise they're a little too long. And those are stainless, but you can just get the standard oxidized steel. And then you need a 3mm by 15mm. You can go a tiny bit shorter if they're available, but the 15mm works real nice. And then you will need number 4 washers. And I say number 4 washers. Those are not metric 3mm washers. I say the number 4 because of the thickness on them. You could probably use 3mm washers, but the thickness works out perfect for the shimming that you need to do. And one thing you'll have to do is in this area right in here where the shock slides in, you'll have to remove some material from this side, the part that goes towards the front of the arm. This is the front of the arm where the angle, this side here. And I just took my hobby scissors and just kind of kept scraping in here, but easiest way would probably be to take just a little Dremel tool and just kind of zip that away a little bit up until your shock shaft end fits right in there. So let's get this together. So you just kind of follow everything in reverse. Here's your stack of washers, and you want to put those on the side that goes towards the front of the buggy. So like so. And you're going to take your hinge pin and slide that in. Tighten your front brace back up. And don't forget to put your hinge pin screw in the new arm. Don't need to lose those. And then on the steering blocks here, you won't need to use the stock shims. It fits in there perfectly without the shims. Now, you can see here, the hinge pin sticks out a little past where it should. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to the grinder real quick. You just need to grind that little bit right off of there, and then take a file to it and deburr the edge. So I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, so we're back, and this is the shortened hinge pin. This one got a little butchered, but really doesn't matter, just as long as you don't have a bunch of rough material around where it slides in. Just slide that back in. Or you try. There you go. And you take your new screw, 3 mil, and it probably would really need to be like a 3 mil by 4 or 5 mil, I imagine. And there you have it. There's that. Arms all mounted. You just need to put the bumper skid plate back on there and cinch it down. Also, people, when you put these things together, you don't need to gorilla fist any of the hardware. Just snug it up. Alright, there you have it. RB6 arms on an Atomik V2MR buggy, and really doesn't take much modification at all, if any, really. I've researched other arms from other manufacturers, and there are other ones that can be done, but these are the easiest. You don't have to bore out hinge pin holes. They're literally perfect for the hinge pins in this vehicle, and you know, just minor modifications needed to make them work. Otherwise, everything's identical. The geometry, everything is dead on. So that's that. That's how to repair a broken control arm on the front of your Atomik V2MR.